Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna be talking about student accommodation in Germany. So if you are not a German and you're thinking about studying in Germany, 1, good for you. 2, I hope you've learned enough German. 3, you might be wondering what the student accommodation is gonna be like. Is it affordable? What kind of dorms are there? And generally what to expect from student accommodation. So the first thing that you need to know is that dorms aren't really a big thing in Germany. In German, we call dorms Studentenwohnheim, which just means student housing, I guess. And it's usually regulated by the university through its Studentenwerk. They also are in control of Mensa, which I would say for you Americans, the dining hall or the university cafeteria. That's what basically Mensa is. They offer usually lunch, sometimes breakfast and dinner as well, depending on the Mensa. They offer meals and drinks, and some of them have cafes, which also serves breads and coffee and stuff. The amount of dorms available depends on the size of the city and naturally the size of the university itself. So if you are thinking about going to a bigger university, they probably will have more accommodation available to you. But usually, because they are the cheapest possible student accommodation that you can have in Germany, usually anyway, they usually have a really long waiting list, and the chances that you're gonna get one on a short notice is quite slim. But I was lucky enough to be able to experience 2 dorms, both in Greifswald and when I still studied in Wolfsburg. The other thing that you should know is that German universities are usually scattered around the city. Most German universities are pretty old, so as the city grows, the university grows with them. And that's also the case with the dorms. There aren't really any on-campus housing. Usually they are scattered around the city, and some of them may not at all be near a university building, or if it is, probably not for your major. Now, the good thing about dorms, aside from its affordableness, is that the rent is usually inclusive of electricity and internet, so you don't have to worry about that. In private housing, which I would mention later on, you should. And then depending on the uni and the dorm itself, usually they have facilities that they can offer you. The standard ones are laundry rooms and drying rooms, so you can go and do your laundry in the building, which will cost you, I think it's about 2 euros ish per load, and the drying is a bit cheaper. I think it's around 150 or 180 depending on the uni itself. But if you're lucky, maybe your dorms offer other facilities such as gym or communal areas that you can borrow and use for parties and stuff, or just a gathering with your friends. Now let's talk about the type of dorms. First of all, there are Einzelzimmer. Einzelzimmer means one room. Basically, you have a room in a hall that has communal bathroom and communal kitchen. Usually in a hall or on floor, we say, like the entire floor, you're gonna share the bathroom and the kitchen with 8 or 9 other people, but they have multiple bathrooms, so you don't have to worry. In comparison with the US, you don't have to share the room. I don't think I've ever even known one campus or one dorms that do room sharing thing. Apartment sharing, yes, but not room sharing. So you basically have the room for yourself. The size of the room is also dependent on the dorm itself. I think it can range from around 10 or 11 square meter to like 20. Okay, the next thing is called Wohnung. It means practically just house. So you share an apartment with other students, and you basically also have your own room and then a communal bathroom and kitchen. But this time, in comparison to the Einzelzimmer, you usually just share the apartment with up to 3 other people. But the downside is there is usually only one bathroom, and that is inclusive the shower and the toilet. So it can be a bit tricky sometimes. The next type of dorms is Einzel apartments. So you basically have a small apartment all to yourself. The bathroom and the kitchen is in your room. Now the downside to this is that usually it's pretty small and you don't have a separation between your bed room with your kitchen. But it is very practical if you are the type of person who kind of feels the need to have private space all to yourself. It's usually a bit rarer to have an Einzel apartments instead of a Wohnung if you're in dorms, but as I said, the amount of dorms available and the types of dorm available are totally dependent on the universities and the student network. So I would suggest looking up on Google Maps where your faculty building are gonna be, and look on the student website for the university where are the dorms located, and just find the most convenient location. Either you want to be near the city or you want to be near your faculty building, and just figure out what you want for yourself. So other than dorms, students also have the option to go to private housing. Unlike in America, dorms are not a must in Germany. As long as you are a student in the university, usually you can stay in the dorms, but it's not a must. So you can totally go to private housing right off the bat. You don't have to stay in the dorms for your first year or so. And there are also types of private housings. First of all, there are private companies that offer student-oriented housing. So they're gonna have Einzelzimmers and Wohnungs and Einzel apartments that are totally geared up to students. And they are also usually inclusive of electricity and internet. Now, if you wanna go totally private, you can find an apartment with your friends and treat it as a Wohnung, or you can just find an apartment all for yourself. But in this case, it's usually unfurbished, so you have to score all of your furnitures, you have to deal with the internet companies, you have to deal with the gas company and stuff like that. So it's a bit more complicated, and I wouldn't suggest it unless you are staying for at least a couple of years in the house. The other plus to dorms are that it usually comes fully furnished. You just need to move in with your suitcase and your clothes, and that's pretty much it. As for pricing, going private, if you find a good place with a low rent that you can split with your friends, it's totally gonna be pretty near what it would cost you to stay in dorms, or even like a bit lower, because you can totally go for a house that has like 4 or 5 bedrooms and split it however you like with your friends. You can build a 4-person apartment or a 5-person apartment depending on the type of house that you get. So guys, that is it for my video about the student accommodation in Germany. I hope it was helpful and insightful for you if you're interested in studying in Germany and figuring out what the student housing is gonna be like. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!